guys, it's Gamer Ahmer here, and last week we left off with 482 Super Nintendo games, and as I'm trying to go for a full set, I decided to go to the Toy Exchange, a toy store, to find some Super Nintendo games. And boy, did I get super lucky, because I added quite a few more for some really great deals. Some of those toy stores you definitely want to check out because they may have video games in stock and they may be able to do some great deals on some of those, games, because that's not necessarily what they're known for. And that's exactly what he said. So first up, we'll just jump into it. This one right here, we have Terminator 2. This is T2 and this is Judgment Day. So when I think of a game that would be this, I thought that this game would be, based off of the fantastic movie. You would have all this action-packed action, adventure, crazy stuff going on, and even the character. You would have something that's super iconic. So this one is more of one of those basic graphics for a movie tie-in video game. So another bad video game. So this one you have a whole health meter, and you have 0 continues. It does follow along the movie, but it really just does not fit. So the character looks out of place, the music does not fit the gameplay. I just expected way more action, and I expected there to be, a lot more effort placed into this game. So this one is very interesting because you do get to drive around from place to place, but it's a pretty inexpensive game and one that I don't really recommend. There's other games that I would definitely play in this whole franchise, but not this one on the Super Nintendo. But on a positive note, I did pick up Mickey Mania. This one is the timeless adventures of Mickey Mouse. So this one's actually a great game. This looks incredible. You have the original Disney animators who contributed to this game. You have 4 different lives, 4 different hits. This is one of your puzzle platformer games. It took me a while to figure out, some of the different moves and what I was supposed to do in certain areas. But once I got through it, I just loved it because the visuals are, great. The sprite animations look amazing on the Super Nintendo. There is some loading time between parts, but just how visually stunning this game is, this is definitely worth a playthrough. But if I was going to play it again, I've heard that the Genesis, version of it is way better because it has more levels, more music, and, it just looks greater on the Sega Genesis. So this is one that you could still score for, pretty, on the cheaper side. It's not entirely too expensive. So this is definitely worth a playthrough if you're going for a Super Nintendo set. So if you guys are enjoying this content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification because you don't want to miss out as I go through all of these Super Nintendo games and I find some really awesome deals and some hidden gems along the way. And then next up, I scored this complete in-box game for a fantastic price. This one even still has the Blockbuster video sticker on the back, and it says 12/03/1998. So that is just crazy. I love seeing pieces of history on Super Nintendo games. Just really a cool, little set here, a little collection piece. So here we have Rampart. This one, they did have it, on the NES. It was even an arcade game. This is your strategy, your shooter, your puzzle game, all in one. But it's really fun because you have to, place different cannons, protect the castles, but you want to blast your opponents. You get to build and repair, and you can play 2-player, which was actually pretty fun if you do play 2-player, because it's really funny. You get this whole, show no mercy, force defeated enemies off the plank for a quick dunk in the ocean. Bring them back on board and battle again. So it has this weird little cutscene. So that's definitely very interesting. But I can see how this game was pretty fun and pretty crazy back in the day. So this one's a rather inexpensive game. Even complete, at least I scored it for a great deal. So this is one that I would definitely check out if you love, those strategy or puzzle or shooter games. So definitely have to check that one out. This one right here. So I've been putting this game off for quite some time because I did not think it was going to be as fun as it was. We have Battle Cars. So it looks like some cheesy, cars with spikes and just all of this craziness going on it. And it looks like, maybe not a good racing game, but this one's actually pretty entertaining. So you start out with 3 different vehicles to choose from. You get to select a color for whichever one that you pick. The music is awesome. It really ties into this game. It kind of reminds me of like F-Zero, but like rock and roll style. So you get cash, you get to upgrade your vehicles, you have to beat opponents, you do get weapons, there's 9 courses, and you can even unlock a top-down view like later on. The characters are like pretty crazy and neat looking. So I thought that that was really cool, but just because it reminds me of like F-Zero with this like crazy quick-paced racing, but it has like this awesome vibe of music. So you have like this whole rock and roll, like in-your-face music. This is definitely a good time. A more reasonably priced game. So instead of paying all this like crazy money on some of the racing games, you could still get this one pretty cheap, pretty inexpensive. And I had a blast with it. So this is one that I'm going to have to play a little bit more and maybe even like go through and try out with different characters or different vehicles rather. Then on to this game. So this is one that I always find with like a terrible label. So this is Arcanoid. We have Do It Again. So this one reminds me of like Breakout, like on the Atari. Pretty much you get to like break different blocks and you have to like clear your course or like the little scene. So it can get pretty challenging at times and you do get some pretty cool power-ups, but this game is super nostalgic. Just the sounds alone that are in this game really brings it back for me. And I love playing like Alleyway and some of these other games. At least I think that's what it's called on the original Game Boy. I just had so much time, you know, playing some of these like fun and like, you know, very strategic games back in the day, and I would just, you know, kill time while playing them. So this is one that definitely has some like nostalgia to it, and one that I'll have to play anytime that I just want to sit back, relax, and have a good time. And then they had this game. So of course I have to get all of the golf games, the sports games. We have True Golf, and this is Wicked 18. So this one's not really a good golf game. There are better on the Super Nintendo. So it doesn't really look as good as the others, and it is pretty difficult. It just kind of has like this weird layout and this like different style to it. So this is one that I will probably never play, but I wanted to see exactly how it was and kind of see how it looked, because there are many of these True Golf games on the Super Nintendo. But do you guys remember playing this one, or do you even play golf games? So if you are ever in Mount Airy, Maryland, you have to check out the Toy Exchange. So this is a really cool, you know, toy store, but they do have video games. They have some really cool things in there. I had a blast, you know, checking out all of the Star Wars stuff that they have in the front. They even had like some Toy Story. They had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Transformers, G.I. Joe. They had so many different like sets and vehicles and planes and things like that, just like suspended from the ceiling. And it's really cool because I even saw like vintage toys, like back in the day toys. So they had like all of these different trains and like metal toys on like one side of the store. And then on the other side, you have all of those nostalgic ones that I absolutely love. But they do get some pretty crazy and wacky things. I remember last time I went in there, I picked up this like grocery bag or like little paper bag, and it had all of the Power Rangers on it. So every time that I go in there, I find something pretty cool, something like weird, nostalgic, and I got some amazing deals on these Super Nintendo games and even some GameCube. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that video, because I'm going to have a blast talking about some of those. But we left off with 482, and we added 6 more games into the set. So we're inching closer to 500 games. And with that, those 6 more, we have 488 games. So I can't wait to see what is next, and I can't wait to hit that 500 mark. So let me know which game you guys really enjoy. And of course, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out all of my other videos and stay tuned for more.